Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Ronnie Rance, Tommy Chrysan on this, post 4th of July edition. It is July 5th. We hope everyone had a wonderful 4th of July. Most of you are not just celebrating one day. Most of you are celebrating the weekend or the week. You see me, I'm celebrating. Today's my 4th of July day. Going to go out to False River, going to go see my brother and his family and my mom and everybody. And so happy 4th of July to everyone. Hope everybody had a safe 4th of July. Popped a lot of fireworks without incident. Last year, this time, Joel Davis almost blew off his finger popping fireworks. The man's 50-something years old, and you'd have thought he'd done it for the first time. So we hope everybody's safe. TK joining us from Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, as he does a couple times a week. Over there, I bet they had a giant day yesterday because they were open.
Yeah, they were open. They sold a lot of brisket, which was a lunch special. They had some number one boiled crabs sold out of that. Back today at 3 o'clock, they're going to have a half a dozen boiled crabs and a pound of boiled shrimp for $20. But you got to call the reserve because they're going to be sold out before they light the pot. So call Tremonti's or stop by and get your name on the list. If your name's on the list, you're going to get this unbelievable deal.
Half a dozen crabs and a pound
of boiled shrimp, $20.
Wow.
It's a good deal.
That's a great deal. And
you can pick up something else, for the weekend, some wine and whiskey, whatever.
I am at an undisclosed location presented by Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Go to lasportshall.com and join the team. Tommy's a member of the team. Find out all about that at lasportshall.com. We've got over 100 members of the team since we launched in the fall of 23. We're presented, of course, by LeBear's Casino. LeBear's had a giant 4th of July party every year. They've been doing it since 2012, I believe. 2013, I guess, was the first 4th of July. They started doing fireworks on a big barge right there in the Mississippi River in front of the casino. It's become a tradition. It's open to the public. Folks go right there on the levee and on the lawn right next to LeBear's and they have food trucks and they have lights and people bring out their lawn chairs and all that and watch the fireworks show. They had another big one, of course, downtown Baton Rouge. Anytime it doesn't rain, it's a good 4th of July fireworks show, and they had them all over the place in the state of Louisiana. All right, so some topics of discussion here today on the show, things we want to get to. Of course, the Major League Baseball.
You got to get to Rachel's comment. She loves the hat, Lord Rance.
Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate it very much. Rachel had a request to talk a little LSU baseball portal. We'll do that here in a sec. The draft is next Friday. It's a week from today. So next weekend will be the Major League Baseball draft, and we'll find
14th.
I'm sorry.
Actually, it'll be on the 14th.
Oh, it isn't next the 12th.
14th, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right. We'll double check that while we're talking. But is it now 2 days or 3 days? I feel like they've stretched it to 3, kind of getting, just like what they've done with Major League, the NFL rather. They've kind of, do you get
draft Sunday the 14th through Tuesday the 16th.
And then the All-Star game is, I guess, that night, huh? On the
16th, the night in Arlington. Could have 3 former LSU Tigers in that All-Star game.
Who are you expecting? Josh Smith.
Expecting Josh Smith. He'll be named. He's not going to be a starter, but he got to be named also. Paul Skeens, and I think Aaron Nola is going to get named in there too because he's been on fire. So could have 3.
Definitely going to have, I think, 2. I mean, I don't know how you leave Josh Smith off in the All-Star game in Texas.
In Arlington, right?
Yeah. I mean, the guy's hitting 300 and he's top 10 in all the offensive categories and, that matter. And it's in Arlington. So,
and that Sunday night, they have the Futures game, which Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan will be in.
Dylan Cruz and Trey Morgan have been named to it. Morgan said he will not play in it. I don't think he's got a little banged up something. So Morgan won't play in it, but Cruz will play in it. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing some new blood, right? I mean, we talk about Nola. Nola's been around a long time. We talk about Gosman. Gosman's been around a long time. But now we're talking about new blood, Skeens and Smith and Cruz and Morgan. It's the new wave of LSU players. It's incredible how it just keeps going. But talking about LSU, folks are going to have to get used to, of the 40-man roster that LSU had this past year, of the 40-man roster at this moment, what's the number of players, Tommy, that have gone into the portal out of that 40-man roster?
Well, let's see. I'm going to tell you that. I believe it was 13, but I'm going to double check that for you.
And because we're going to give you that number, plus you got the guys that graduated, plus you've got the guys that are out of eligibility, like a Travinsky, like a Milazzo. Those guys are out of eligibility. And then you've got guys that are probably going to get drafted and signed, which we expect. Jones, the first baseman. There's a really good chance that Herring, could go. What you got, TK? What's the number?
14 players have went into the portal from LSU. And many have already found landing spots, because there's always that thing, you can go in the portal and you could end up back where you were. But
right.
Many of them have found landing spots. Paxton Kling's going to Penn State, Brady Neal to Alabama, Aiden Moffitt's going to Texas. We think that's a major league arm. He's going to go to Texas. So there's some guys that have landed. Zeb Ruddle is going to go to Louisiana Tech, or he'll be out there for the Rougarou this weekend. So it's the way we have to embrace college baseball now. It's crazy.
So we're talking about, by the time you add in the departures because of eligibility being up, but by the time you add in guys that are going to sign that could come back, you're going to be nearly half your roster.
More than half.
Well, you're at 14 now.
40, yeah. Well, okay, I'm thinking the dress out roster is going to be more than half.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a 40-man roster. You've lost 14 of those 40. You're not going to have more than 6 between eligibility and draft that could have come back.
And then you got signees who won't end up on campus.
It seems to me like Braswell is going to probably be back at shortstop. He was a guy that could go. With Kucherak going into the portal, to me, it seems like he may know something. And Braswell, I don't know that the pro scouts love Braswell. I mean, he had a good year for LSU last year, a really good year. He was leading hitter in the SEC as far as average goes. And I had a little bobble about a month period in the middle of the season where defensively a little shaky, but for the most part was pretty solid. Wasn't great, but solid. You've had worse for sure. You had worse than Thompson the year before when he fielded under 900 and hit under 250. So Braswell was a rock star if you look at that comparison. And I think, with what they're going to be able to offer him with NIL and return and all that versus getting drafted late and get maybe a little bit of money, I think you're going to see Braswell back. And he was a guy that I think most people might have thought would have been a one and done. That's just my opinion.
I think it'd be a plus if he's back. The experience, the fact that he did way better hitting than anyone thought he would. And I thought he was good at short. Did he have errors? Yeah, but shortstops are going to have errors. Balls get hit up the middle, okay? But I think it'd be a plus for LSU if he's back.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So that said, tell us, go through the list of guys that have left LSU one at a time.
All right, we can do that. Let me get back to this top of the line. All right. Kucherak has left, the infielder. I think he's going to Utah. Thatcher Hurd is in the draft. Is probably going to go in the draft.
He's in the
Justin Lower is in the portal, the left-hander who came in from Xavier. Brady Neal, and he's going to end up at Bama, the catcher. Javon Coleman, as a left-hand pitcher, is in the portal, as is Paxton Kling. It's already determined he's going to Penn State. Sam Dutton, the right-hander, going to go to Auburn. You got Aiden Moffitt, right-hander, with I think a major league arm, going to Texas. Then you got Michael Bucknam, the right-handed pitcher, who's going to Dallas Baptist. Cam Johnson, the lefty, who we think's a major league arm, going to Oklahoma. Nick Bronzini, still in the portal. Zeb Ruddle, Rougarou player, going to Louisiana Tech. Derek Mitchell, an outfielder. He didn't get on the field much. Here's another one, Austin Rowling, the shortstop, going to Utah. So Kucherik may not be going to Utah. I got those confused. So you got some in there that aren't coming back. I don't know if any of them ones that, haven't landed yet are going to come back. We'll have to see. I'm sure Coach Johnson and his staff, they're tearing this stuff up. They just got the best hitter in the Southland Conference, the Beck kid from Incarnate Word, which is over at San Antonio. He went to junior college. He went to Kansas State. He went to Incarnate Word. Now he's at LSU. That's the other thing we have. Like that North Carolina kid was at 5 different schools. That one lefty hitting for Carolina, I forget his name, 5 different schools. And he ended up having a really good year for Carolina this year. So, I mean, that's just the way we got to live with it.
As far as the list that you just read off as the departures, and we're going to get to the additions here in a second, I want you to go through them as well and where they came from. The departures, I think the ones that probably sting, Aiden Moffitt probably stings a little bit because, again, you're talking about a guy through his mid-90s he's hit 100 in the fall, and you like it. It started to come together a little bit for him, and you like to think he's going to take another step forward. Instead, he goes to Texas, and who recruited him at LSU? Nolan Cain. He's at Texas, Nolan Cain. So you got to keep in mind when Aiden Moffitt first started being recruited, Nolan Cain was on the staff, and Nolan Cain has developed that relationship. And then, of course, he departed. But to go to A&M after Paul Maneri got resigned. I think that one probably stings a little bit. And then I think Brady Neal leaving and going to Alabama, especially going to Alabama, stings a little bit because I think Brady Neal definitely would have been in the mix next year to play, DH, to catch. I mean, and I know Jay's really liked him his whole career. I thinks highly of him. So, and you can't ever have enough catching, and they clearly don't know who their real starters necessarily going to be. So Brady Neal's that's a loss. Probably the biggest loss of the position players. And then I would say in my mind, Coleman, Coleman clearly is the biggest loss of who's in the portal because he's left-handed. He's had some success. He's probably he's probably the most fixable of the pitchers. And what I mean by that is, to get him to throw strikes, which is his issue, wasn't as far off as maybe say some others. And so I think Coleman is probably the biggest loss. And then Moffitt would be the second biggest loss. Outside of that, the others you probably a little bit anticipated, maybe didn't like him to leave, but you can live with it. And then the young ones, some of them just haven't proven themselves enough to be a tremendous loss because they've just been at LSU for a year. The redshirt didn't play, whatever the case may be. We may look back one day and go, man, I can't believe Kucherak was at LSU. Look how great he's done. He's a big leaguer now. But unfortunately, just the way it is, there's no patience on either side of the aisle. And it's an instantaneous gratification society. And, there's no development. There's just, can you play or not? Go, and Coach Willis at LSU Eunice tweeted out some stuff yesterday, Tommy, talking about, just showing how it was he retweeted an article that was written and then had a comment. And basically the gist of the article is what I've been saying all along is that it's a minute number of players that sign with Power 5 conferences, in this case now Power 4 conferences, and actually play and actually make a difference and get on a field as a freshman and lots of at-bats and start and all that kind of stuff. It's such a tiny, because, what 18, 19-year-olds are ready to compete with 21 and 23-year-olds on, in society, but also on the baseball field. And so it was talking about how junior college baseball is probably a really good option. And of course, Willis, the coach at LSU Eunice, is saying, yeah, because as an 18, 19-year-old, you can go play, you can get your at-bats. And then that way, when you go in the portal, you've got some skins on the wall, you got a resume, you got ABs under you or innings pitched, where if you go sit in red shirt and then in Zeb Ruddle's case, red shirt, 13 at-bats, you go in the portal, you don't have anything to show for it. Yeah, you're talented, you got abilities, blah, 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 but you don't have the skins on the wall, whereas the guy that's at Incarnate Word and he's 4 years into college has a proven track record. You feel like I got a better shot at knowing what I'm going to get. And anyway, Coach Willis at LSU Eunice was basically saying, "Hey, he's right. Come to junior college."
I agree 100%. And this is going to help junior college programs. And, Louisiana's got, a lot of junior college programs. It's also going to help the Division 3 and 2 programs like Loyola or Centenary up in Shreveport. You're going to get on the field. The only way you're going to get noticed by the pros is if you're on the field doing something. And all kids who play college baseball, they have that little dream. I want to get an option to play pro. They might not think I can make the big leagues tomorrow, but they could think, hey, I want that opportunity. I want that chance. They want to grind. We read all the stories about guys in the minor leagues for 6 and 8 and 10 years. Some guy was in there 10 years, started in the major leagues the other day as a pitcher. You're going to have to rip the jersey off your back, as they say. So the only way you can get that attention is to be on the field. If you're on the field at Centenary or Loyola or LSU Eunice, you're going to get noticed as opposed to if you're riding the bench at Southeastern or Nichols or LSU or Texas or wherever it might be. So, kids want to be on the field, no question.
All right, let's talk about the additions. LSU's had some subtractions. We focused on that. All right, so now the additions, which, LSU got an early jump start this year because they didn't make it to a regional, so Jay Johnson's been busy.
Yeah, Connor Ware, a left-handed pitcher who was at Pearl River Community College. Daniel Harden, who's a Catholic High Baton Rouge guy, but went to McClellan Junior College. That's over in Texas. Tanner Reeves, an infielder at Blinn College, which is over in Texas. Got good numbers there. Blake Priester, who was on the Rougarou roster for a little bit, Meridian Community College and LSU, and we'll see what happens with him. Trevor Schmidt, also a junior college guy, a first baseman and outfielder. Chandler Dorsey, a right-handed pitcher from South Florida. Looking at Luis Hernandez, an infielder that can hit with power. He was at Indiana State. There's big numbers on him. The pitcher from Wofford's ace, Zach Cowan, we saw in that regional, big right-hander who throws ball hard, throws strikes. Devin Sheeran, a 6'5" right-hander, 6'5", 245 from Mount St. Mary's. You got Luke Hayden, a right-handed pitcher who was at Indiana State. Chris Stanfield, that's the outfielder from Auburn. I remember watching him play. Eddie Yaman, he's a first baseman, catcher, outfielder who hit 18 homers at Dayton last year. Multiple positions. Jacob Myers, a Santa Mar kid, right-hand pitcher from Nichols who switched in. And then Dalton Beck, that's the one I referenced earlier, listed as DH, left-hand pitcher, and outfielder, who's been at Grayson College, Kansas State, Incarnate Word, and now LSU. He led the Southeastern Conference in slugging percentage, hits, and home runs. So he's got some pop in the bat. So you got a lot of guys that from all these different junior colleges and smaller schools. But obviously Jay Johnson and the staff see something in these guys, that they want to, have them wear purple and gold.
Give me the number right there, Tommy. Go ahead and do the quick math and tell me how many guys we've got that LSU's added so far. And also keep in mind, folks, it is only July 5th. Last year, LSU went to fall camp with 46 players, I believe, which meant that 6 of them were not on the active roster for various reasons, whether they transferred, whether they kind of gray shirt, red shirt, whatever. But they went to camp with 46. They clearly are going to be going to camp this year with well more than 40 players.
Got 15 coming in on that latest list provided by the Advocate newspaper. And then here's the other thing. Once that draft happens, they could get a number or 2 or 3 that change either in or out if all of a sudden somebody gets selected, or, the Braswell story, or if some reason Jared Jones doesn't get picked. Josh Pearson, I don't think he's going to get picked. But what if he gets, 17th, 18th, 19th round or doesn't get picked, then does Jay Johnson have a spot for him? So before the end of July, this thing's going to shuffle a whole lot more.
And like I said, there's going to be other players that portal hop, that aren't right now. So it's the wild, wild west. But there you go, a little breakdown there.
Good thing you have unlimited calling on the cell phone, right? Because they're calling like 50 guys a day or more, But if you count the whole staff, they're probably calling 100 guys a day.
It's amazing. I mean, think about all the changes. I mean, just think about like Texas and Texas A&M, just those two, right? It's basically in essence swapping. You got Texas A&M coaches going over the UT, and then the hitting coach coming back.
Well, Brian, you made a point the other day about when they promoted early the hitting coach. There's like 4 or 5 guys who were in the portal at A&M that now say they're staying. Okay, they say, I'm out of here once Schlossnagle left. Now when they see what's happening, they've all jumped back into the Aggieville. And you made that point the other day when we were talking about him being hired, that there could be some underlying stories there, and it's been revealed that there are.
Yeah, I mean, he's an unproven coach from a standpoint of being a head coach, never been, young guy. The only reason they hired him versus going and getting somebody with experience as a head coach and success as a head coach is once they swung for the fences and couldn't get a Jay Johnson or a Tony Vitello or whatever, they decided, hey, after obviously talking to the players and all that and doing their due diligence, that if we sign this guy, we're going to be able to keep a core of our really great players and probably some recruits even. Therefore, they made that move. And we'll see long term if it's the right move because we know Jim Schlossnagle's got a track record of being a great coach and running a great program at TCU and now A&M. We know he's going to be successful at Texas for sure. Will A&M be successful with a young, inexperienced head coach because you made that move out of desperation to be relevant this year? We'll see. It'll be fun to watch. TK, tell us about Tremonti's and anything else going on.
Well, Tremonti's got this special today, call and reserve. That's important. If you walk in here at 2:45 or 3 or 3:15, it will be sold out. That has happened every Friday. Half a dozen boiled crabs and a pound of boiled shrimp, $20. Call to reserve or stop by this morning. If you get your name on the list, you're going to be able to get it. Then, of course, don't forget home games Saturday and Sunday for the Rougarou. 7 o'clock first pitch at Goldsby Field. Lots of specials. Got free ticket night. Got Tremonti's Cheeseburger in Paradise night. Saturday and Sunday against the Acadiana Cane Cutters. Important games in the second half standards. Come see the Baton Rouge Rougarou. Go to brrougarou.com. Come on out, eat, drink, have fun with the kids. Let the kids run the bases. Lots of great stuff happening. Go to brrougarou.com for complete information. We'll come out to Pete Goldsby Field Saturday and Sunday night. Baton Rouge Rougarou. Hey, don't forget to like and share this show. That helps everybody out, everybody that's involved with Sports Shorts Daily. And don't forget tomorrow morning, Sports Shorts Radio, 10 a.m. to 12 noon from Calandro's on Government Street, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Hunter McCann, Ronnie, myself, Joel Davis, who knows what else. Come on out and join us, or at the very least, listen on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge to Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow morning. Get those crabs, as we mentioned, and don't forget to like and share this show. And I want to see you at the Rougarou game Saturday and Sunday night.
And we'll visit with Joel Davis tomorrow because, of course, everyone knows the Calandro's on Government Street is right across from the most iconic business in town. That's La Coretta, a great Mexican restaurant. And by the way, Woodhaven is right next door to that as well. All right, we'll see you tomorrow on Sports Shorts Radio. And for the Sports Shorts Daily listeners and watchers and viewers, we'll see you on Monday. Have a great 4th of July weekend. Please be safe, like and share this video, and we'll see you.